fought that fight because he wanted to preserve his people. He fought that fight because he wanted to show that his people should be respected. Ojukwu is not a selfish person, or rather was not a selfish person. Ojukwu never held malice or had malice for anybody. He loved everybody. He loved Igbos, and he was so proud of the Igbos. I want us to know that today, as we bury the Ojukwu today, it should be a day for us to remember that there is need for us to rekindle that Igbo-ness in us. For us to know that the bond that keep all of us together should be reinforced. We should leave self-aggrandizement. We should leave personal interest and pursue a common goal, a just goal for all of us. We are enterprising people. We've done so much in the world. We started as people with 20 pounds after the Civil War. Today, Igbos all over the world are super rich. I can tell you for sure, if you go to Lagos and count the number of hotels in Lagos, 80% hotels in Lagos are owned by the Igbos. You go to Abuja, every good house you see in Abuja belongs to an Igbo man. You go to Port Harcourt, the same. We are blessed people. We are just like Jews in Nigeria. Our blessing touches other people around us. Why should we not come together as one body and protect the interest of our people? If we work together as a team, we will conquer. If we work together as a team, we will get to the skies. The skies will be our starting place. So I tell all of us today that as we are gathered here to mourn Ojukwu, let it not be just to stare and merry. Let it be a day of reflection. Let it be a day of trying to know things we've done wrong and see how to amend. There is no joy we'll get at the end of the day that will live in enmity. We are far away from home. We are too far away from home. We are blessed people. The Israelites are working very hard. They are achieving everything they get themselves involved in because they are united. The population of the Igbos, we are greater than that of the Jews. So we have to work together. We should keep whatever thing is true hatred, is true bitterness, and work together as one. Let us try to keep the virtues of Odimegwu Ojukwu, Ezigbo Gburugburu, Ọchịagha Ndị Igbo, a man who had so much wealth, yet he decided to stoop so low to help other Igbo people. A man who never offended any Igbo man. A man who loved his people till death. My heart bleeds today because of this man. I was not there when the Civil War took place, but my parents told me, and they loved him so much. Till the day my parents died, they loved this man till that point. Every single person here should emulate all those things that he lived for. We shouldn't fight. There is one thing, I will say it in Igbo, but I will take excuse from our brothers that do not understand Igbo language. It goes this way. Onye ndị iro gbara gburugburu na-eche ndụ ya nche mgbe niile. I could remember my parents told me that during the war, Ojukwu in Radio Biafra always, the announcement will always come this way. onye ndị iro gbara gburugburu na-eche ndụ ya nche mgbe niile. Ụmụ Biafra, unu ehikwala ụra. So, please, my brothers, Igbo Union, Igbo Union. I think I've spoken so much. I said I was going to abridge it, but I wouldn't know. I think I lost track of the whole thing and started talking continuously.
Right on.
But to end the whole thing, I would please, on behalf of Igbo Union and our brothers, ask Almighty God, Jehovah God, in His infinite mercy, to protect our beloved brother, uncle, hero, a man of valor, a man of unquestionable character, a man that had unimpeachable courage, a fearless man. To preserve him in his humble bosom. In Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Always there to represent the Igbos. And we are very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Igbo says that the day one buries another, you now ponder how you want to be remembered when your days here on earth are done. Today, like I said from the beginning, lights will be shed on various segments of Ojukwu's life. How do we want to be remembered when we are done? Many of us hang on the fences. Many of us are just armchair theorists, only there to criticize what others are doing. Ojukwu could have stayed out of all the problems the Igbos had, but he chose instead to move in. He didn't hang on the fence, waiting for those other people to take actions or to initiate actions. He moved in himself, and he did what he did. And that's why we're here today remembering him. So how do we individually here, collectively, want to be remembered? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to the mic the representative of the Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is, I said, one of us, and who has our interests, I believe, at heart. He's been here just a few months, but I'm sure many of us knows him. Many of us have heard about him. Why? Because of what he's doing. Please join me to welcome the head of the Chancellor, Mr. Innocent Iweje, to the mic, please.
the president of Igbo Union Antwerp, members of Igbo Union and the entire members of Igbo community here present, our spiritual leaders here, Chief Oba, my colleague, and unofficial ambassador of Nigerians in this place, dear compatriots, brothers and sisters, friends of Nigerian people in this land, Belgium, ladies and gentlemen. First, I am here today on behalf of His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and at the same time as a true born of Igbo land. And first of all, I have to read the tribute that is handed in to me by my ambassador. And then I will say one or two words in honor of this departed icon, Dean Odumegwu Ojukwu. Tribute. I read the ambassador's statement. Tribute to the late Dean Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu by His Excellency Usman A. Baraya, Ambassador of Nigeria to Belgium, Luxembourg, and the European Union. On the occasion of the celebration of life and time of the icon organized by the Igbo Union, Federated Belgium. With this deep sense of grief, I join you in mourning the departure of our illustrious son and gentleman par excellence, Dean Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, the Ikemba Nnewi, and the Eze Igbo Gburugburu. I commend you on this uncommon initiative of organizing in far-away Belgium befitting funeral rites in honor of a hero who believed in giving his Igbo brethren a befitting political identity. I thank you for the opportunity to be part of this historic event. What tribute can be enough for a man like Ojukwu, who had ignored the comfort of affluent family background and make a career in the army just for the selfless commitment of building a nation where both the rich and the poor would have a say. The Ikemba was not only an accomplished and uncompromising military officer, he was also an advocate of a united Nigeria who stood and fought for what he believed in. A well-educated, highly experienced soldier, the late Ojukwu, as the first Quartermaster General of the Nigerian Army, bequeathed to our nation's military institution legacies which to date remains in force. Ojukwu was a humanist and accomplished politician. Although he is no more, his role in the journey to return democracy in Nigeria and personal sacrifices in ensuring that our great nation found and maintained its moral bearing and stability as a single entity will always be remembered. He was not only an icon, well respected among his peers, but also the pride of his people. Today, we honor a brilliant politician who made significant contributions to the growth and development of our country during his life. I am honored to join eminent Nigerians who are here today to pay their tribute to this hero, whose life, work, and principles were devoted to protecting the rights and integrity of the poor and the voiceless. we mourn the departure of this rare game and indeed erudite and painstaking nationalist, I challenge all Nigerians here, especially my Igbo brothers and sisters, to emulate the good and positive virtues of the late Ikemba, whose life epitomized love for the nation and mankind. A man recorded in history for his humility, simplicity, decency, and superior intellect. I urge you to draw courage and inspiration from the legacies of our past heroes and work harder for a united, socially corporate, politically stable, and economically prosperous Nigeria. May the soul of Dame Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu rest in perfect peace. I want to thank you this evening, but I was compelled by official and the love I have for my brothers and sisters here, and of course, for the departed hero, despite the tight schedules we ran in the office today, to come here for two purposes. One, to join you in mourning a man that had left a very strong legacy on the footprint of history, and of course, to seize the opportunity to once again address you, my brothers and sisters. My name is Innocent Aloma Iwejo. Like the MC has said, I am indeed one of you. If I don't have the love for my brothers and sisters, if I don't appreciate what is found in a typical and average Igbo man, if I don't communicate in the language of Marapo, Eji, Marandi Igbo, I wouldn't have found my way to this place today. I tell you most solemnly, if there is anything like reincarnation, I would like to be a woman. You know why? Wherever I see any black-skinned person in all parts of the world have traveled in sojourn for this career they call diplomacy, I don't need any dibia to tell me that this person is my brother or sister, because our unity runs within our blood. Exactly a year and 3 months ago, I arrived here. When I came in, I was looking for those that can speak the same language, those that can speak Ukwohori, those that can speak Anambra too, those that can speak Mbise too. But I could not find immediately except Mr. Oba. Then I asked him, don't we have any in this place? I heard that wherever you go and you go to that place, you don't see a black man called Igbo. Please wind up and go, because that place doesn't supposed to exist. There and then, that Chief Oba opened up and said, Oga, there are plenty in this place, so where are they? Unfortunately, I came when there was at that peak of snow. The only outing I would have seen my brothers and sisters, my ambassador delegated Ndugu, because I came new in that time. I didn't know my left from right. I protested. So this is the only legitimate opportunity I would have used to hobnob with my brothers and say, yes, I am in the midst of my own brothers and sisters. And that was indeed on a lighter note. But since then, I've sought and reached out by myself to look for where you are, until I found that they are not just in thousands, they are in scores and in hundreds. I want to encourage you this evening to emulate the life of Ikemba. We have gathered here to mourn and praise and eulogize the lives of a man that lived an exemplary life, a man that abandoned his wealth of the father's wealth and his own wealth of both intelligence and materialism to yield and to suffer for the masses, to fight for liberation. It was not, I don't see it as a war of secession, but it was a war of liberation, a war to defend the defenseless. And indeed, it turned out to be something that brought about what we have today as modern Nigerian unity in diversity. We have gathered today to pour incoming on a man that had shown us what it means to be loved and to love. Do we love ourselves becomes the question. How much can we demonstrate 1/10 of what Ikemba had done when he was living? I came into this country when I discovered my paper and started going out on functions. I got one invitation. I shouted hallelujah, I am going to go with my family. In fact, my wife and children are going to be there. 2 weeks after, I got another invitation. I said, okay. I thought that the people came to remind me of the invitation they gave me earlier. But I never knew that it was a different invitation from the same location and from the same people. I said, no, but is it not going to be on 13th? I'm already aware of it. I will be traveling to Nigeria, come back for it and to attend. I said, no, which invitation are you talking about? Was the response. I realized it was an invitation for a different thing. The rest is history. I felt ashamed. Do we have a divided Igbo in this place? I thought that Igbos are known for their egalitarian approach to things. I thought that Igbos are known for their unity. I thought that Igbos are known for what Odimogu had done, because I remember when this war was fought, there was no divided Igbo. They had a standing army, even with their crude weapons. If you go to Umuahia today, we see what we have, what they call the museum, the war museum. You will see that our people had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of skills, scientific. Where are the scientific approaches, all those ingenuity? Where are they today? Instead of us to emulate these good virtues, we keep antagonizing one another, bringing divisions, proliferation of associations. These are things that are dividing our love for one another. When I saw this, I waded into the matter. No, but unsolicitedly, because of the love I have for my people. Because I know that united we stand and divided we disorganize. Today, the pastor hit the nail on the head. In fact, he has done part of my work. He has challenged the leadership of Igbo Union and Igbo community. I am having an unfinished work, a work in progress, but God has started something great here today. Look at how sober we are. Very promising faces. Strong men and gentlemen and ladies. Very enterprising, hardworking. In the midst of their hardshipness, they make something out of it, genuinely. Think about home. What can we achieve to bring back to Igbo land if we continue in this divided approach to issues? Do you want the Yorubas to come to settle us? Do you want the Hausas to come to settle you? Do you want the other minority members to come to settle you, or the Belgians that are your host? Do you know that the example you live in this place is a reflection of how people outside the country? I know the Igbos as pesetas. I also know that the Igbos in Belgium are pesetas. I have traveled far and near within the short moment I have spent in this career. I have cooperated with the Igbos and Nigerians anywhere. Wherever I have been, the Igbos have been on the top, the first among equals. I understand vividly, if I'm not, without fear of contradiction, that when we set this space here, especially in Antwerp, others started emulating you. Some here are on the line. Some of them that started emulating you scattered. When they scattered, you are the ones that were a point of reference. I mean, Igbo association, whether Igbo Union, Igbo whatever, or community, or whatever you call yourselves. You are the ones that we are living exemplary lives to these people. Point of reference. Why can't we see how these people are united? Why can't we start something like that? Mimicry is not a crime. imitation is not a crime, but because somebody can imitate, and then they perfect it, and then they turn out to be the best. I learned that somewhere down the line, these people that are imitating the Igbos scattered. The Igbos were still united, and eventually they got united through the inspiration they drew from the Igbo community and Igbo Union in this place. But at the end of the day, there is a purpose. Actually, there is a purpose for bringing us together here. In addition to these two people, I want to call the executives of Igbo Union that's here present, the presidents of Igbo Union. Please come out to this place. President of Igbo Union Brussels, are you here? This man has been living with me in Brussels, but this is the first time I'm seeing him. Incidentally, he answers the same question of innocent as me. How innocent are you when you have not come to see your brother who has been in the embassy? That stands for another day. He's the president of Igbo Union Ghent here. I want Mr. Jens Piliti to come out. Is the engine here? Are you the engine? You know, not the guitar. I want Mr. Elegant to come out to this place.